Hey, I'm going to be going over how to assign homework or assessments through Pivot using Inspect, which is our program that is replacing Acuity. So if you log into your Pivot, and they kind of changed the look of it, um, if you log in and it immediately goes to the data warehouse, click on Daily Assessments and Dashboard, and you will see this screen. You will see your classes off to the side. I know the math teachers already have their students enrolled, um, but if you don't have your students enrolled or if you get a new student later in the year, I will show you how to get them into this program. So you can create a homework or assessment by clicking on assessments. And I've already created one because I was messing around with it. But you can either click on add an assessment or add a shared assessment. I choose the shared one just because that's what they told us in the training. And I'm not really sure what the difference is, to be honest. So once you click on that, you can create a new assessment. Now you'll just put in some basic information here. So if I wanted to assign it to my 7th period algebra class, you can choose assessment, homework, or practice assessment. So let's say I wanted to make a homework assignment. And I'm just going to call this test homework. You can make a description. You have to choose a date range, so for whatever dates you want. I wouldn't mess with the benchmarks because they said that 60% or higher is supposed to predict that they are going to pass ISTEP, and 80 or higher is supposed to predict that they're going to get pass plus. So I wouldn't mess with that unless if you really wanted to. Down here you can change a few things if you want. If you want to set a time limit or randomize the questions. But I typically don't mess with this, but I do share the assessment just so I can make sure it's going to show up for me every time. So create the assessment. Now here you'll see all of your students, so if for some reason you didn't want to assign it to one of these people, you could take them off the list. But if you go to questions, you can start designing your homework. You can go over here to add question. You can create your own new question if you want to actually type it in. But Inspect has a lot of pre-made questions that are pretty good, so I just choose Inspect. Then you choose your subject, your grade, I'm going to choose grade 7. Okay, so once you choose that, what I like to do is choose my standard that I'm working on. So say I'm working on number sense 1, so I go down here and say I'm also doing number sense 2. So you can choose multiple standards. You don't need to fill out this bottom part, but once you have updated this, click filter, and then it'll pop up with some questions. You can look at the questions individually too, because these kind of go along with both. But depending on your standard, you might see 50 plus questions. Here I only see 7. But say I wanted to add all these questions, and you can look at them before you add them. So if you click on it, you'll see what grade, the subject, the standard, the type of question, and what it looks like for the student. So say I want to add all of these. Then after you choose the ones you want to add, click Add Questions. And that's it. You have just created your assessment. So once the date comes where you have it set to when it was supposed to start, it will show up for the students. You can preview what it's going to look like. You can print it if you want a paper copy, and it also includes an answer key. If you have a student that isn't in the class, or if you don't have any students in your class, if you click on classes, whatever is in parentheses is your class code. So I'm going to show you how students can put their class code in. So I'm going to log out of my account, and I'm going to log in as a student. Their password is the first letter of the first name, their last name, and their graduation year. and their password is the same as their Chromebook. Okay, so I'm logged in as this student, and you can see that the assignment that I created is already there. This isn't the one that I just created, this is one that I'm actually going to use. But if you want to give a class code, you have them log in, click on enroll in a class, and it'll just type that code in. Also, if you have an assessment or a homework assignment that you created, but maybe it won't be actually available until 2 days from now, it'll show that that's coming up, so they know to expect it. But this one I've assigned that they can start anytime, so he can already access that. And then so the student would just click on it, complete the assignment, and that's it. So if you have any questions, feel free to email me or come down to my room and we will try to work it out.